Welcome back. My name is Shamika, and this is Check the Rhymes. I am super excited about today's show because a legend is in the building, y'all. I have the First Lady of Def Jam joining me today. Yes, Alyson Williams. And we're going to talk about her new music. We're going to take a little history lesson because I don't think some of y'all remember to include the First Lady of Def Jam when you're talking about hip hop soul. And I'm going to ask her the questions that you guys submitted to me on social media. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss today's show. Joining me today here on Check the Rhymes is a legend, Alyson Williams. Welcome to Check the Rhymes.
Hello, my darling. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
And fine. And greetings to all your fans, friends, supporters, listeners, tuner-inners.
So I have to know, when I was preparing for this interview, I probably had 2 pages of questions and I was like, I got to trim this down so that she'll come back.
Sounds good to me.
Yes.
Part 1, the Christmas edition.
Look, there you go. There you go. So how have you been doing during the pandemic? I know that I'm sure like everybody as an artist, you've had to pivot a bit.
Yeah, pivot. Honey, I've had to do a complete pirouette, honey.
But gracefully.
We had to put all of our dance skills together. We had the preparation and turn. It's a blessing to be able to even sit here. As our good brother and my friend Michael Collier said, and it hasn't left me. I did his show 4 weeks or more ago, and he said everybody who didn't wake up today had plans for the weekend.
Right.
So I'm just blessed to be able to sit here and answer your question, and I'm blessed to see your face and to know that there are a multitude of people that are tuning in. So I've had to sit back and reassess and be thankful for the opportunity to breathe a breath. Because right now, this is some stranger than fiction.
Ain't it?
I can't wait. When I think of all of the science fiction type movies that I've seen about the apocalypse and the future, and I don't care whether it was the bar scene in Star Wars or whether it was Fifth Element or whether it was whatever. I just think that we feel so close to that now.
Yes.
You walk through an airport or down the street and there's signs telling you, please wear a mask, please socially distance.
Right.
Well, and we're getting all these messages, and the government is in flux, and people are racially at odds, and all of these things I know are going to make for an incredible script for somebody who's going to write an incredible movie about real life situation. All the work is canceled. Everything's gone. No way to make any money. How are you going to eat? How are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to keep the phone on?
Right.
And God has provided each and every step of the way. So it has been through my faith and through knowing that God is in control, even though it seems like, well, why would you, God, if you're in control, couldn't you have done something other than this? But he has a plan.
Exactly.
He had to hit reboot, restart, reset, so that we could all sit back and hear very clearly. The thing that I remember in the height of the pandemic is that I could hear. I could hear so clearly.
Yes.
There were no buses and there were no cars. There were very few people. I could hear all the birds. I could smell and see clearer air. We could hear.
Yes.
And we had to stop and listen. We had to listen to ourselves. We had to listen to our souls, listen to each other. We had to listen to the earth.
Yes.
So I've gotten through by looking and paying attention and following the signs.
Yes.
Keeping up with the information and trying to continue to live, say, well, only go out when I have to, figure out something, organize a little something, cook something, eat healthy, you know what I'm saying? Get in the floor every once in a while and stretch around. You know what I mean?
Right,
You can't go to the gym. I'm going to start my diet. What? You got 1,000 Mondays. When you going to start?
Right. Listen, exactly.
You got no excuses now. Oh, I'm going to start working out right after this weekend. Yeah, okay. Well, now all your weekends, every day is a weekend.
I just had a call with someone and they said that we have literally, like, people are wanting a snow day. And it was my manager. She said, we've had almost a whole year of snow days.
Just in case you didn't get the memo, it's snowing like the Dickens up in the north right now.
Yes.
So here's our snow day. Now what you gonna do?
Right. Exactly. Which, I wanted to say that last night, as I was going through your music, that Just Call My Name hits different now. It hits different during a pandemic. I mean, it always was a very powerful song, but have you had people telling you like that they've been listening to it and hearing it in a more powerful way now?
Listen, I've always been so excited about not just having a hit song, not just having a song that is now, I'm sure, considered a R&B classic.
Yes.
When it was traveling up the charts, and it was in the heyday of its heyday. I always knew that the thing that made my song special didn't have anything to do with my vocal, maybe in the interpretation and delivery, but the fact that the content of Just Call My Name is more than just a love song.
Right.
It's more than just I love my man and oh baby I love you my girl. It is just call my name, I'm your friend. Just call my name, I'm your parent. Just call my name, I'm your god sister, your cousin, your neighbor next door. Just call my name, and I'll come. Somebody's got to be there, and sometimes we want to feel that we're the person that can offer that.
Right. And
of course, for me, it's always just call his name, because he's there. He don't ever leave your side. He don't have to come running, because God is always there with you.
Right.
Part of you. But that's how I see it. So I've always felt like I got the best of both worlds. I got a great song for commercial radio and consumer consumption, but I also got a message that transcends just a love song. It transcends it. A friend of mine, I was in the box again with some good friends from Brunch in the Basement. Shout out to them, to Javon and Therese. And Therese was, kind of letting something off her chest about how she felt about how she'd been feeling recently during the pandemic, and how she was saying, I know I'm not alone. There are other people who are feeling this way. Yes. And just remember that we're here for you. Even if you just want to text us something or chat us something, we're here, to listen and to be a shoulder and to be an ear. And just as they were about to introduce me, they chose Just Call My Name at the end of what she was saying.
Wow.
And it was so poignant to me because it was so, I didn't expect it. I'm sitting here just getting my notes together. Like we were talking, I'm going, yeah, girl, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Your listeners are going to appreciate your openness and your candidness. And then, she ended up with something. So just know that we're here for you. And
right.
Just call my name. And I was like, wow, I didn't expect that. So now I'm rushing around looking for a tissue.
Oh, yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's real. And I'm a part of the realness. I have a very dear, cherished friendship with Valerie Simpson. And we all know that Ashford and Simpson have created the soundtrack of our lives.
Yes, yes.
And how about Walmart, y'all? Let's just say bam. They're all I need to get by. But that's another story. But, they made music that makes you feel.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so if that's what I can do, make music that makes you feel. Just the other day, somebody said, I was listening to your new song, and girl, I played it, and when I finished listening to it, I want to listen again because it made me feel, and they were searching for some words and adjectives to put in there. I said, you don't have to finish that sentence.
Yeah. You
said it made you feel.
Yes. Yes, which is a great segue because my next question is about your new song, Summer Nights in Harlem, because when I was listening to it, like I was ready to be sitting outside, like at a concert, and I was like, well, I could sit here on the floor and listen to it, but but it just made me think about all those summers, just being outside, enjoying music and just surrounded by just an abundance of people and just love and the energy and the love of music. You know what I mean? So tell me about that song and how it came about.
Well, a lot of people have been, thank you to so many who have jumped on the bandwagon for Summer Nights in Harlem, who have listened to it and want to share it and pass it along and put it on their playlist. It is a feel-good song. We have a lot of things that need attention, and we have to stand up and we have to be present in the moment, and we have to fight the powers that be. But sometimes you just need to exhale.
Yes.
So that
Yes.
you can rejuvenate and reconstitute yourself so you be ready for the march and ready for the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what this music is. It just washes over you, and it evokes memories and evokes vision and feelings of either being in Harlem,
Yes.
or what you've known Harlem to be,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever experience Harlem has been for you, whether it's past, present, and what you miss about it. So you hope in the future to be able to sit out on it. I mean, if you've been to New York within the last few years, you see how Harlem has changed drastically.
Mm-hmm.
So we have such an influx of restaurants and sidewalk cafes, things that normally you could only get south of 110th Street.
Right.
So
Right.
we have it all. And not to mention great restaurants and diverse people to eat the diverse variety of food that's available now. And, it's just it's a thing. It's a thing. And so Summer Nights in Harlem gives you an opportunity to not only just kind of immerse yourself in what that would feel like if you were there now, but also to take you back to a time, to that time when Harlem is a game changer all the way around. It
Mm-hmm.
always has something to offer. So whether it's past, present, or future. I was minding my business and doing one of my local gigs in New York.
I love that, minding my business.
On a Wednesday night, and a young man came to my show, and he sat by himself in the corner. And when my set was over, he came over and he said, "My name is Maurice Lynch. My cousin is Mike Lynch, the stage manager." I said, "Oh, I know Mike. I've traveled around the country with Mike."
Uh-huh.
Yes, well, he says that I should look you up. I have a musical review based on the Harlem Renaissance and Motown and all of the soul music meets jazz, and it's called the Harlem Renaissance Harlem Music Review. Mm-hmm. And I also have a Harlem Gospel Review, which I've been traveling around the country and around the world. And all of my singers are really great, but my cousin says if I'm getting ready to do a jazz review and I need to someone to sing jazz, then I need to find you. So that's why I'm here tonight. So I said, well, I'm glad. Thank you, Michael, for the recommendation.
Right.
And the funny thing is, I know the singers that this gentleman works with, so I know that they're incredible singers. But the key was, if you need somebody that knows how to sing jazz,
mm-hmm.
They needed me, and that made me feel really good.
Yes.
He played the music. He played 2 songs for me: "The Summer Nights in Harlem" and a song called "The Romance of You," which is also available. And I knew immediately, Shamika, that I had found the music that would spearhead the project that I've been trying to do for over 40 years. And I've been in this business a long time.
Yeah.
I am celebrating 30 years of Just Call My Name.
Yes. I was gonna mention that, and congratulations to being inducted. Yeah, and being inducted in the Soul Music Hall of Fame as well.
I've been inducted into the Soul Music Hall of Fame. Thank you to David Nathan and everybody who makes that happen. But when I heard the songs, you always have in your mind, you want to get back to your root. And my root is jazz. My father was a jazz trumpet player, Bobby Booker. He had a Bobby Booker big band, 21 pieces. This was my life. This is what I knew. A lot of other kids were in the church. A lot of kids were, getting down James Brown. I was swinging the Ella Fitzgerald and Count Basie. That's all I can say. So when I heard this music and the lyrics and the feel that he wanted, and I knew I could give him that, and I could articulate that, I said, this is the project that you've been waiting for, Alyson, that will take you back to your root.
Yes.
And so I said to Maurice, Maurice, let us co-produce this project. You brought the music. We'll produce it together. I will produce the personnel. So I reached deep down, and I couldn't find any really good musicians. So I just had to settle for Christian McBride, and Ron Blake. I threw in Kirk Whalum and that scruffy old Ray Shrew, and let's see, Greg Sneed when he feel like it. Ty Stevens, Dawn Tallman, just scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Right, you just had to take what you could get.
You gotta do the best you can.
Well, it turned out amazing. Like I can't wait.
Lineup. Can you imagine that lineup of people, and everybody says, yes, I want to help you do whatever it is you need to do. The music is great. We appreciate your talent. We love you. And come on, what you need.
Love it. Love that.
One more thing to celebrate in the midst of a storm. the 30-year anniversary, the induction into the Soul Music Hall of Fame, the fact that I'm able to at least do a soft launch, a little baby buzz getter, and have people like you hear this music in preparation for what is to come in 2021. We weren't supposed to be able to do any of this.
Listen,
we had it set up to do a launch party in Harlem on a summer night. Oh. COVID came and stole all of that away.
Yeah.
So to be able to even sit here and be able to do this, it's incredible. I have no doubt that in finishing the project, that people are going to love on this, and it's going to take the Alyson Williams brand to the next level, which is what we're trying to do.
Do you know when the project may be finished? I know with COVID, it's kind of. Or do you have a goal in mind?
I have a goal. I'm going for that next summer night, honey.
Okay, all right.
I'm hoping that by the spring, we'll at least have it all in the can.
Right.
And get ready to say, bam, Summer Nights in Harlem for real. And we'll be able to actually walk the streets of Harlem, with a mask or without, but we'll be able to we'll have gotten back to music and performance, because as you know, music is 99 cents a pop now.
Yeah.
So an artist only makes their music, and it takes a gazillion streams for somebody to give you 5 cents.
Right,
so,
right.
As an independent artist, live is what we have to get back to in order for us to even be able to eke out the living and continue to have a way to make a living. So,
right.
But like I said, thankful. Celebrating 5 years in radio broadcast. I have a radio show. WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. Yes. And my show airs on Tuesdays from 8 to 10. My show is called Love Notes with Alyson Williams in the Chill Zone. And I've been going strong for 5 years. And even in the pandemic.
That's amazing.
Still doing our show. Finding ways to make it happen.
Yeah.
Remotely, pre-recording, pre-production kind of stuff. So I'm thankful.
So my next question for you, and I said it in my intro, is that you are the first lady of Def Jam. Now, when conversations come up about Def Jam, you already know probably where I'm getting ready to go with this. Do you feel any kind of way that sometimes the people like yourself that were there from the very beginning get left out of the conversation? Because I know I'm in my feelings about it for you.
That would be a yes. What do you think? I know, right? It's all the time. Anyway, this is how I always tell people. I don't know where I was for the my 25th anniversary of Just Call My Name, or my 20th, I don't know. And I know that, but I do know that every time they call and say they're going to celebrate 30 years of Def Jam, they're going to celebrate 30, they never call me. And like you said, I was one of the cornerstone founding members.
Yes.
Along with Orange Juice Jones, along with Tayshaun, along with Chuck Stanley, along with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, God rest Andre Harrell, so along with Houdini. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They make you think that it all started with Public Enemy, LL Cool J, and it ended with Rihanna. That's how you think. Right. Somebody can come and take a snapshot of what Def Jam is or was. But just because they don't talk about it, that's not history. That's their story.
Exactly.
And it doesn't mean it didn't happen. And it's documented, and you can't erase it. So I think that all of us that have a way or feel a way about it should make a way about it. That's why I'm writing a book.
Ooh.
That's why I bring it up in all of my conversations. That I was a part of Def Jam when it was an idea in Russell's head coming out of his mouth.
Right.
Every day he would say, I'm about to create the most deafest, dopest underground label. It's going to be for underground artists. And he would just be ranting about it. And he did that. He made me and the other performers that I mentioned a part of it on the R&B platform, the R&B arm of it. But because it was a rap label in its inception, rap prevailed, and hip hop was born, and we kind of got a little shuffled to the side or to the back burner. But I was determined because whether it was Def Jam or not, I was going to be.
Yes.
Me not having a deal with Def Jam or Sony, or collaborative or whatever, I had to continue on, which is why I sit here before you. I'm saying, I think Def Jam was an incredible stepping stone. I'm very proud of my monocle, the First Lady of Def Jam. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
And I know I was an innovator. I know they were innovators in the music that they produced under me, and that set the tone and the blueprint for a Mary J. Blige and all other ones that came after her. So
yes, I can't wait for this book.
I did for them what Gladys Knight did for me, what Shaka Khan did for me.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Right.
They laid the foundation.
Yes, yes.
So I mean, I can feel a certain way, but listen, what don't get told in the dark always comes out in the light.
Hello. Hello.
It's going to come out in the wash water.
Yes, and I'll be there to catch it and read the book.
And it's about the truth. It's not about outing anybody or tell all or anything. It's just factual.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't familiar with the work that led to that. Russell Simmons was introduced to me by Curtis Blow. I'm busy. He was managing Curtis at the time. And the things that Curtis was getting into outside of being an artist and the king of rap and the godfather of rap, he then got opportunities to produce other artists. So we got Fat Boys, and Fat Boys are back. And, and If I Rule the World, and Basketball, and Ralph and Randy Dangerfield, and AJ Scratch. All of that is my work.
Yes, I was gonna say, like, even though I kept reading that you were the hook girl, I was like, I mean,
hook girl.
Yeah, but you're right. Like, I don't know if people realize even the impact of all those songs and your voice on those songs. Like, because when we hear the the chorus or something, it's like,
there's not a 4-year-old or an 84-year-old that doesn't know basketball when you sing it to them. Right. And for every person that knows If I Rule the World, yes, Lauryn Hill did her cover, but I originated it.
Exactly.
So I think it gives me a lot of relativity.
It does.
Still keeps my street cred in order.
Yes.
And it will play a major part in my backstory as I'm going on as I open this next chapter.
Well, I wanted to throw out a couple names at you I just want to hear if you have like a cool story of working with them. One of the people that I love to hear about because he was a good friend is Kashif.
You want my Kashif story?
Yes, I want a Kashif story.
So here's my Kashif story. There were a lot of different clubs that were hot and popping with a lot of great talent in the early 80s, late 70s. One of them was called The Cellar. And a lot of really great people hung out there, the industry, the radio, the performers, and what have you. Johnny Kemp was performing there. I was there. Keith Sweat was there. We were all there. And this man named Fred Petrus came through, and he had this deal with Capitol Records. And he had 3 major groups. He had a group called Change, which he had a young singer by the name of Luther Vandross.
Yes.
He had a group called the BB&Q Band, which was Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, because all the musicians were from those areas. And they put out a lot of great music. Then they had a group called High Fashion, which was Alyson Williams, Melissa Morgan, and Eric McClintock out of Detroit.
Yes.
So on the day we had to go and we auditioned and they were making their rounds, I think Melissa had already been chosen and Eric had been chosen, and it was me and Lilo Thomas. And we were called to the recording studio to be told what our fate was. And there was an incredible song called Feeling Lucky Lately, which became our first single, written by Mr. Fonzie Thornton. And Fonzie Thornton and Kashif were there at the studio. And they told us, well, we've made our decision, and we'd like to let you know that you've been inducted into the group, which is a great day for me. I'm in my fashion. I had to go and tell Russell, I know you're putting together the most dopest underground, blah, 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 blah. This is Capitol Records.
Right.
And for a young singer, Capitol means neck and cold.
Yes.
Neck and cold. All of the house, Capitol. I believe in your Def Jam, whatever that dream is.
Yeah.
It's Capitol.
Yeah.
Said, go do what you got to do, and then we'll be fine. When you get ready, we'll be here waiting for you. So off the Capitol I went. That day in the studio, Lilo, by the way, did not get chosen for High Fashion, but they gave him his own solo deal.
Yes, Cousin Lilo. That's what I call him. Cousin Lilo.
I got to sing background all that because of Kashif. The next thing Kashif said to me was, so now you're a part of High Fashion and welcome to the fold and to the family. Listen, I'm gonna be cutting background vocals for Melba Moore tonight. Would you and Lilo like to come and sing background tonight? So we were really excited. We said, oh yes, what time did we show up? And they told us, and we said, thank you very much. I then took myself out of the studio and into the bathroom, and I screamed so loud, I swear I killed all the cats in the house. I know I did. I remember, I think I jumped up and flipped over the stall. Come and sing background as you introduced to Kashif, and for Melba Moore, who I have seen on Broadway, who I have seen on TV, how I have seen in film. Are you kidding me? So this was one of my first R&B singing background vocal situations. I had been doing all the rap. I had been bringing the legitimate singers to the rap game. The singers that were doing Duran Duran and the girls that were singing back there with Luther and Tawaf and all, and they were like kind of like rap, really? No, I don't know. I'm just not available. I'm busy. Yeah, look at that window. Yeah. Fonda Ray and Lisa Fisher and Audrey Wheeler and I had a company together, and Cindy Mizell and Curtis Hairston and oh my gosh, Jocelyn Brown. I got all of those folks to come and put those vocals on that rap music. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So continuing my Kashif story, we did the Melba Moore stuff. We were elated. Take My Love and Love's Coming At You are the two songs I remember doing. But because Kashif was the flavor of the producer at that time, you know, those waves, he was doing everybody. So I got to do Lilo, more Melba, Evelyn Champagne King. Yes. Bobby Brown. No, Bobby Brown was somebody else produced. But a whole, you know, just that whole thing. Whatever Kashif and Paul Lawrence were working on, I had a gig. I was just going to bring up Paul Lawrence, but you know, actually the list of people I was going to ask you about, you mentioned all in that story. I'm a one-stop shop for storytelling. Right. I was like, she done hit all of them in my list. And a few you didn't even ask about. Right. And you know, you'll have to check out my interview with Paul Lawrence on Check the Rhymes. We did one earlier this year. So. Yes, indeed. I saw him, not this year, but I saw him last year around the springtime. Yeah. So to be, pardon me, in touch with him and to, yeah, man, it's just great. Yeah. So I'm sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, we're going to jump into the fan segment, if you're ready. Before we do that, can I tell you one real quick story? Yes, please, please. Before, you know, we were having our little conversation, our sister time, before we started, and you said that you used to write for soultrain.com. Yes. And I have a great Soul Train story. Oh, please tell me. I love a Soul Train story. Most people don't know, when you got to go on Soul Train, it was always a big deal. You know, people in your neighborhood thought you were rich. Once you just Soul Train, they don't realize that these television outlets are exposure, and you really don't get paid a whole lot. If you do, it's Union scale, and it's according to who you are on the set. It is what it is, but it's what you can never make in money what those shows did for the exposure and in a visibility that made people look at you as being legitimate. So it was my turn to do Soul Train, and I had been traveling in Europe because the music was really. I went over for a week and ended up staying like 6 or 9 months. Oh, that's a whole other story. But when I came back, I had to do a lot of catch up because the single that they would have been promoting had pretty much almost, you know, had its time. Mm-hmm. But so they were on to the next single, but luckily they still wanted me because the numbers were good. Right. I get to Soul Train, and you know, you used to bring your 12-inch single and you would lip sync to it. Yes. Know that. Unless you were Al Green, James Brown, Patti LaBelle, Aretha Franklin, those kinds of legends, right? They would sing live. But if you were new and upcoming, you had to lip sync. So they had told me something of we're going to do the rehearsal and so, and then they came back from lunch, and all of a sudden some person came and said, Miss Williams, we're only going to be able to do one song. We were supposed to do Sleep Talk, I think, and Just Call My Name. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, we had to do Just Call My Name because it was the new single, but we never wanted people to forget that we had radio dance music. Right. You know, we wanted to be able to show both sides of the artist. Plus, I had told my mother I was doing 2 songs, so how could I not do 2 songs? Because she told the rest of the world.
Yeah, y'all got to come through into the song.
Instagram. Mommy, all I had to do was say Mommy Soul Train and the whole world knew. I was so distraught. I couldn't make up my makeup. I had surgery on my feet, so I was wearing these open-toe shoes that I wasn't really quite sure about, but I hope my outfit covered them because I couldn't put shoes on.
I'm going to have to go look this up.
Open-toe shoes I could find were stripper pumps, so they had platforms on them, and only strippers wore them. It's not like now when anybody can put on a pair of clear heels.
Right.
I'm tipping around on the clear heels, and I'm crying, and so Mr. Cornelius comes to me, and he's like, okay, Miss Williams, what's the problem? I said, they told me I was going to do 2 songs. And I just explained to him through tears everything I said. I said, I have to do 2 songs because we have to be able to show them that we have the dance song and we have to be able to show the ballad. And the ballad is the blues one. And plus, I told my mother. I told Bob it. So in his calmness, he looked at me and he said, okay. And he walked away. And I went back to the dressing room and tried not to mess up the makeup and the whole bit. And he came back and he said, Ms. Williams, I'm going to need your other 12-inch, and you'll be performing 2 songs.
Oh, come on, Don.
And, he never lost, it was never a thing. He thought about it, and he looked at me, and he walked away. He said, give me a minute. And when he came back, he said, please go and get your other record so we can cue it up.
I love that.
So he'll never know, because I never got to tell him how that impacted me, that he heard me and he saw the urgency and he was willing to make the concession.
I love that story. Oh my God, I love that.
That's Don Cornelius, and that was my Soul Train situation.
Yes, you know what? Now I'm wishing I had reached out to you when I was writing for soultrain.com and we would have had this story on the website, but that's okay. Right, it's on Check the Rhymes.
The story is now.
Yes. Okay, so the fan segment. The fans submitted questions via social media. As soon as I tweeted your name, they were on it. So I picked the top 3. Some of them we actually already had talked about, which is interesting because somebody wanted to know, let's see, I'm going to pick one that we didn't talk about. And this one's funny. This is one of your big fans here. He wanted to know, did you catch the Holy Ghost recording Not on the Outside, because he always catches it when he hears it?
Well, I can tell you I caught a little Holy Ghost when I first heard it. When I first heard it, and then I got a call. I think I was in Europe at the time. I got a call from Ray Goodman and Brown.
Oh, wow.
That I had done a good job, at which point I thought I was going to jump off of a bridge. I remember being on the bridge. And when I got the call, I was on tour and out on an off day somewhere. And when I got the call, I was over the moon. But, I mean, who can't feel that kind of spirit?
Yes.
When you're singing classics like that.
Right.
So, thank you to that particular fan, and I'm glad. Continue to get the Holy Ghost.
So the next one, she said, this is upsetting to her and her homegirls. She said, when is Can't Have My Man going to be available on streaming services? Because she is so upset about this, her and her homegirls now.
Okay, so this is my new project. I don't own the rights to the writing. I didn't write that song. That's the Al B. Shore song. So what I need to do is find out how can I get my catalog. Because if I had my catalog at my disposal, I would put my stuff on stream.
Yeah.
But what I can do is I can call Al B. and pass the message on, and maybe we can at least do that song.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything starts with the first step. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, you know what I mean? But I have been looking into getting a hold of my masters for the sole purpose of just being able to have them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? As a performer. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anybody's publishing. I'm not trying to get anything that I'm not entitled to. But right. I do want to have fresh, clean,
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need a TV track. Sometimes you need something
right.
to do, and you want it to sound fresh and new.
Yes.
And at this point, all the tracks I have are barely there. If I didn't perform real good and smile real pretty, The tracks, they make me mad. So I know how the audience. I got to distract her, but that's because they've been used over and over and over and over and copied onto
Right.
all the devices so long, so they degenerate. I guess that's what you call it.
Yes.
That's so that's in the wheelhouse. But I'm making a note that we have to call Al B.
Yes.
And tell him to hit it.
And please tell him I'm his biggest fan. No, he's met me a couple times, and I know every time I never get starstruck, and every single time I just stare at him and I can't even talk.
Out, girl. Stand out. My best art, I have a cassette somewhere that has Jodeci singing the demo for Can't Have My Man.
Really?
Because that's who Al B was working with at that time. Mm-hmm.
You gotta put a snippet of it on Instagram.
I gotta find it first, but I own that. I own Jodeci singing the demo for Can't Have My Man on a cassette.
Oh, I bet that's amazing. And shout out to North Carolina. Hey, Jodeci.
Hey, North Carolina, we love you. Paul Lawrence is down there too.
Yes. That's how I met him, actually.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Let's see. They wanted to know the story behind Feeling Lucky Lately. I know we mentioned it earlier, but someone wanted to know the story of that song.
Well, I kind of gave it to you with the high fashion situation.
Yeah.
Being inducted into the group, and Fonzie Thornton being the writer, and meeting him. Actually, I had met Fonzie before. That's why I was so excited when I knew he was working on a project that I was going to be working on.
Yes.
Fonzie, and those were all the Luther Vandross and the jingle singing kids. And so if he was getting ready to touch something I was getting ready to touch, then surely my career was off to a good
Yes.
But, it was one of the best songs that I till today. I wish we could re-release it because it's such a positive song.
It is.
When you listen to it, it just makes you feel good. All those big 1980 orchestra hits and what have you.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's a good groove. It
is.
And I was pleased to be, or grateful to be the first vocal out, the first lead vocal out for the group.
Yes.
We went up the charts really wonderfully, and we toured and worked really great. At that time, they would send us on a weekend, and we might do 3-4 shows a night in New York alone.
Wow.
At all the different clubs and quote unquote disco clubs and what have you. It was just like that. We could do, it was really a good time. And like I said, I can remember my friends who were not in the industry thought that it was only fair that when they were going to work in the morning at 6 or 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, when they heard it come on the radio, to call me and wake me up and tell me, turn on the radio, you on the radio. Like, I appreciate it, but really?
Right.
And then after a while, they were like, no, you're getting up like the rest of us. It just became that kind of thing.
Oh, see, I'd have to unplug that phone.
You're not going to sleep in and be on the radio. Get up. You're running me to work. So I remember all of those great things. The first time you hear yourself on the radio with any music.
Yes.
How it never gets old. And that was, like I said, that's one of the great takeaway stories that I'd be trying to sleep and they'd be ringing the phone. And, back then we had answering machines. So if you didn't pick up, they'd be on the answering machine. Pick up the phone. Listen to me. You better wake up. And you can hear it in the background.
Yep.
I get up every time, sleepy and all. And
and for the young people watching, you'll just have to Google what an answer machine is. Google
Feeling Lucky Lately while you're at it. I guarantee you to make your day.
Yes. Yeah. So for my last question, and this is my question because I ask every guest this when they come on Check the Rhymes.
Okay.
What is an affirmation that you tell yourself every single day to get you through the day, especially now with this craziness that's going on?
I was blessed to be mentored by our beloved late Dr. Maya Angelou.
Mm-hmm.
So I have many affirmations and quotes that she has said to the world as well as to me personally. So I think that that's one of my go-to places. But for the most part, every day I have to tell myself, try to do something.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Make
like that.
something happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you just organize your underwear drawer. Make something happen and keep it moving. Because every day is an opportunity to do something. Every day is
Yes.
an opportunity to make it better or to get closer to whatever it is you think your goal and your dream is. So for me, it's just because I'm a Taurus, and Taurus can be a little like a bull in the pasture. We could graze.
Yeah.
Great. I have a procrastination gene that is like a thyroid problem. It's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm always, I have to push myself twice as hard because I'm twice as lazy. I'm twice as apt to not do it.
Right.
Do something else and miss the window of opportunity. And when you realize that about yourself and you can admit that to
Yeah.
yourself, then you are closer to being able to push yourself, kick yourself. You know what I'm saying? Motivate yourself. So I just try to stay motivated. And the pandemic has been the game changer because if you can, I was built for a pandemic. I don't ever have to go outside.
Right.
No, I'm good. I play well by myself. I can be in my little area, in my room, in my house, and okay.
Yes.
Do I miss seeing people and interacting? Yes, absolutely. I'm a human being. Why wouldn't I? Anything that is human, I am of it. But the rest of it,
right. I'm like, I've been training for this for years.
and when you do it for a living, can you imagine if it was your job to get made up, put on a cute outfit, and go throw yourself into an audience of people?
Oh, no.
And it's not just the performing. It's the travel. It's the packing it up and the laying it out and the repacking it down.
Yeah.
Down check. It's the press. It's the doing of the show, then the meet and greet either before and or after.
Right.
It's greeting everybody with a smile, even when you don't have one to offer.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's all of that energy. My work happens within usually a 1 or 1.5 hour window, unless I'm doing a play, which means I get to the theater at 6 or 7 and I'm done by 10.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? But it's everything else in between that. So if I get a minute to myself where I don't have to ask a question or take a picture or be a certain look or way,
right,
then I'm good. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy what I do, and I know that's all part of it. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I can be by myself and I'm good. So
listen, I'm the same way.
and then on top of it, that does lead you to kind of fall into this thing. I think we're all going through, what do they say, the stages of grief?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where, you're like in denial, and then you're in depression, and then you're something else, and you're acceptance and something else. And this pandemic has made us do that. And so motivating yourself to go forward and to keep pressing and to just be good, do the best to be good to yourself and others, even when it's hard.
Yes.
Because it's easy to be nice when it's nice.
Right.
It's difficult to be nice when you don't feel it inside or when someone has done something not so nice to you. So to answer your question, I'm sorry, in the long version.
No, I love it.
I don't have a specific mantra. I'm always looking for positive things that I can say, and I print them out or look at them in my phone or make sure that I can read them and my eyes can catch them, because they all help and pour positivity in my soul so that I can just continue to make it happen, whatever that is, every day.
I love that. And you have to come back on Check the Rhymes. Like that,
I'm like, this is the holiday edition.
Because I have had so much fun chatting with you and hearing the stories. And I'm like, I can bring back my other page of questions for the next.
Bring back those other 100 questions you thought you couldn't ask me today.
I will do that.
I want to tell your listeners also, speaking of Christmas, in 2016, when we were first going into the dark tunnel, that night of the inauguration, I wrote an incredible Christmas song called Happy Holiday. We released it. It's a great song. It has 2 versions, one with the words of Dr. Maya Angelou, along with the song, and one with a fierce rap by Nephew Tommy. So it is on, I think, Spotify. It's on a couple of platforms. You can go and CD Baby, I think. You can get it. Happy Holiday, along with Summer Nights in Harlem, is the perfect holiday combination, and I hope that it will become a Christmas standard in your Christmas music collection. So
Add these to your playlist, y'all. So,
Adam, baby, happy holidays.
Thank you so much, Alyson Williams, for joining me here on Check the Rhymes. Y'all heard her. Add it to your playlist. I hope you have an amazing.
Fill you in on later when I come back.
Yes.
All kinds of stuff for 2021. So I look forward, and thank you so much for having me so we can check the rhymes.
I love it.